facts in the brown. Chief Justice of Sonoma, Nankasa Asoriko Supreme Court say Supreme Court and halt to 5-member committee no say prima facie case need no you be deal on Nankasa na say NPP for
Jimmy for party job.
Na obi hu awon ti ase Chief Justice we am hu say oye den ya obeko Chief Justice oye den ya obeko because you don't even qualify adena oye no Otina Supreme Court ho no decisions na odeba ya say na what 10 no say na decisions no it wasn't the best who the decisions by ma the then National Security Minister ebe catch say Mr. Madam Chief Justice decisions na mudi free herba no a national security threat MPP for
Jimmy for party job
na Chief Justice no obia catch say we MPP ni tira wona mi na that is why MPP for na ebo kido ye who could do court Chief Justice lawyer na wan former Deputy Attorney General ene Attorney General nankasa Godfrey Dame ene Chief Justice lawyer ena tuya e back Godfrey Dame afenya Markins e back omo say yenko ni yenko ka say president kwani hu kwan say we Chief Justice. Now when she was bringing these decisions lawyer Chachuchi Kata and the future be my Chief Justice and the Ghana for say pacho mo enti Chachuchi Kata on the GH1 this particular interview pacho enti Chachuchi Kata this time round.
You know, the idea of asking for a stay of execution of a ruling of the speaker, there is really no legal basis for a stay of execution of a ruling of the speaker. The court, the Supreme Court and other courts have the authority to stay execution of decisions within the court system.
Okay.
But you don't apply for a stay of execution of something.
But you tia sema lawyer Chachuchi Kata kan wa ha. Abra Speaker of Parliament and making statement to say those members of Parliament no across the carpet no cannot hold themselves as members of Parliament be. Afenya Markins e gane call Supreme Court. Emma osono maame ene otien e can say ono the ruling about if any stay of execution. They say speaker ruling no be here no about to go. And no na chachu chere ne say there be mramu no stay of execution applicable to court decisions, but yet another arm of government. And the Chief Justice Ed interview. That is the reason why a Chief Justice who said Chachuchi Kata bab at the Wababe join a petitioners in the person. Chief Justice say when you a chachu so that is the reason why a Chief Justice are you good know. That's what it is. And I can say, what you good do? What you good do? But you ain't teacher Chujikata and Sema Okai. Now, if you do the Chief Justice way or qualify as a young friend Chief Justice, and I say, young fan got no two bottom court to be no good as a more.
You know, the idea of asking for a stay of execution of a ruling of the speaker, there is really no legal basis for a stay of execution of a ruling of the speaker. The court, the Supreme Court and other courts have the authority to stay execution of decisions within the court system.
Okay.
But you don't apply for a stay of execution of something that happens within another arm of government, which is the arm of the speaker. Now, the impression was given that because this is a matter for interpretation and so on, therefore you can run to the court. But again, there are clear decisions of the courts themselves, including the Supreme Court, decisions which make it absolutely clear that you don't, under the guise of interpretation, take to the Supreme Court things that are within the preserve of other courts or other authorities in the system. Very clear decisions. And I think we have to have a little law class here because I like some of these passages from the decisions of the Supreme Court itself, to be laid out for all of us to look at, because all of us have a responsibility to protect what is in the Constitution. The Supreme Court is not a law unto itself, fortunately. Neither is the Speaker a law unto himself. We all have responsibilities. So when, for instance...
Would you then say that the Supreme Court erred in that?
Well, definitely, in many respects. In fact, as I will try to perhaps explain if there is time, it erred in multiple respects. As I said, in the first respect, just running and saying there's a matter of interpretation, therefore Supreme Court, I'm before you, is not acceptable. The courts have said in many cases, there's this case, for instance, Eduamwa and Chum, where it was stated, Aqua, the Justice of the Supreme Court, as he then was, makes the point that all courts, tribunals, institutions, and all individuals are bound by the provisions of the Constitution in the adjudication of disputes before them.
All right. So, Leonard Chachuchikata, I catch the Chief Justice then say, after your markets, it got about how also making law stay of execution and maybe any reassess. Isaac and I can also the law is the law. Chief Justice and I can also the law is the law. And maybe any reassess, so we Chief Justice, who bet me now say, Parliament, Ashembra, all the stay of execution. I'm after your markets on from Speaker say, Speaker, any who can swear any away. So the Chief Justice gave herself the power. Be a Ghana na ebini ho. Ono ankasa ebe dan te say oye lord ebi o Ghana o ka asema obi nkabi. O hye mra ono ankasa na hye ne mra. To me the 2 days panel Supreme Court. Na fe de ya hye mra bi o Ghana wa na mra exist. Eni wi ase bi ni say birth cert enye proof of ID. But birth cert no de ko Ghana card na how de ko passport ja a proof of a citizenship, sorry, a proof of citizenship. Those things didn't even exist. But they gave themselves the power and the opportunity, and as an authority, you don't even know where they got it from. And a 10 Chief Justice then, me just say, oh, baby, when our proof is I now NPP, that is why I got for Damon do it, because more Supreme Court first, Swami, as a MP, I couldn't feel as a coy, the same dimension, so you have to know the answer and the Supreme Court is the amount. But Chief Justice, who could go when you must say, oh, Supreme Court, because best Supreme Court on the Supreme Court, as I catch it, I was saying, some of the band, and yen answers, and because go for Dammy the Kaba, I may catch and say, Madame, get out, near Simiaka. It is also for the same go for Dammy, also, and come out, I don't even know as some of our country. Yes, Priscilla. She almost sometimes I say Okasa will be so Okasa, but when this particular woman is so arrogant in the country, say no one know how to say things because Okasa now quite say Okasa Tiama. They say Priscilla Wakasa where who are Mami be so arrogant be Ghana. O de ope how na Ojojo speaker lawyer no. Be na osetanase. Be na osetanase. It's a sem na wo kan kwa no. As a nyanyan asem kora ma no. That's when I do agree with you. We see the process is getting too long. That's why she's getting the nerve to talk. Yes, because I person ka president mama e buy and I was a pack massacre. Bye call. We didn't obey biano. Nanka rather than here to nanka chief justice no mum sorry so court. I could see what buying and if it here they obey. But I say Ghana and sometimes system need to know so slow say hold me one want to say. Because here penny gidi. Pa. Here go ko sin I in far from now every day near one no. Be na yen he. But your 1 hour with the Munufi say question be in the comment section no. We discuss it. Until the latest news are Ahaban say Chief Justice say or no mum no copy Supreme Court. So no mama. oko Supreme Court say Supreme Court no and stop it President John Dramani Mahama say committee ne proceedings na why no yen stop it say beto asumpo a ono mum kire justice nipa members 5 member committee no or kire say 2 bi ma yenyi omum firim na yen kofo ono mum ni nipa meshim hey Ghana asemu ho ozo nyankopon onye na de kwa Chief Justice never thought to say ebe ko say yaba beto no tiene oku pie Supreme Court na Supreme Court sometimes minim NPP for
Jimmy for party jamo oni she
what's your NPP adan
Jimmy for party
Jimmy for party ni ano nya den dodo
oh me gina president Kufuor do ni kwa cha na be kala
na Jimmy for party na wo Bulgaria won so ya NPP ni no
oh na say me so me Jimmy
all right
flash nigga
Bulgaria can Japan e mo na se mo ha can Japan
Mo kwari ne ti.
NPP for
Mo kwari ne ti.
Chief Justice
Mo kwari ne ti. Mo kwari ne ti.
all right for 1 hour the movie but just take your time watch all the videos on this particular channel na video e mo nto aso hey no bab chale e easy Chief Justice Amache say Ghana obi no counter say of course he should be sacked that's honestly Samba I see a sack no na ye bonnet on na video who say mami on agro no nka me me president nka sa na me yo ka dey na Samba na pa wa bo se masake o me nka sa suspend masake o me nti committee no date bi en so pa na ye cancel me pa ye nka o ba bi o pe bi na pa fa ko na video ye cancel no bi o hey even say who does she think she is? Seriously, she is an idiot. The law is the law. Sorry to women. Of course. That's me. No, I can't. Yeah, no, I can't. The law is the law. Can the Japan the cast NPP for an idiot?
Another Jimmy, MPP for Mama Jimmy, what Jimmy Papa will stay in opposition forever. MPP for what Jimmy MPP for Jimmy, we will be stupid people. I don't know why I belong to that political party. We are idiots.
Exactly. So can the Japan say NPP for an idiot? Also, so my America come home. And they will Chief Justice and we're going to Supreme Court and go on. And some people are out here, not answering. Said, that's true. What goes around comes around. Because when she was making this kind of laws, people believe say when the judgment comes from the Supreme Court, she didn't think say Ebekwa Babidino. In the time, Tadio sorry, Eko raised this objection against Justice Gawuno. Answer what the man who goes to Supreme Court on the same answer na ne kwa come out. So you Ghanaian and our rise Eko kuduru and a president appointing us away justice or Supreme Court in Tibra. Ababo ame. Until decision na we Chief Justice who taking it then no expect the same decision. And na no former Attorney General Edisa MP nechi a court Supreme Court on answer na the man no don't expect a different answer and no one be say free hope aba you take your time Ghana na ye pimko ye nim ye hye Ghana John Mama ACC Ghana John Mama ACC Ghana so Ghana is not going back you are moving forward ever ya pamo on tiase na obi bia na ye you are no more coming back again. That is something I believe say when you want to rule a nation a serious minded people any do mobile mind in this what one who so obi ebe fra system no unqualified or can be antem na pa mo yinas in chance madam forget out let's move on because we need serious minded people to rule the nations with them and ya good never be. All right, Ernest, me that's it. I say I'm the coolest version of Kevin Taylor. Me that's it. You didn't say me near them, but me that's it. I like Kevin Taylor show. Papa me share Kevin Taylor show be na papa be catch us so here atem free ma. Obi gaare de na ye. Nti me de no so down me de atem be ba mu no. Nya hwe. So nti ye more than that opposite direction. So what I say. This is 1 hour with the Munufi. Midi any William Munufi Amankona. On this particular show, may I take my time, analyze issues, bring out the facts. Then Mahmoud Bawumia says, "We see a politician now. Who can't say somehow kind of a data, but no when your data I'm back here." That's what you're true for. So we back this particular show with data. Yeah, that talk about the how our no for this. And no, so I may catch the data now on one case settle Supreme Court. It is the same data now. And you can cover the man. We are not going to change anything. Nothing is going to change. We 100% assure says Chief Justice Naya Pamano. She's no more coming back again. To about fighter. Nail. Unyahe. And Yadi Unyahe. Or had a hoka NPP for.
Jimmy for party job.
All right, this is how we do the show. I'll keep on coming 1 hour almost every blessed day. That is how I've been doing the show. And then we say more engaging from so somewhere from next week, I'll get the opportunity to accept calls and whatever. Until you just tell me, I just get you on the show. Because I want to make this particular show more engaging. We are not gonna play because John Mama we need to coach things for the bar. Say we correct it. That is how we're gonna do this particular show because we need to fight Ghana. I say my Ghana is developing. Yeah, my Ghana inside Konechiti. Wow, when you say development, we kick you out, then we move on. That's how we're gonna be. Also, they say on one who says she's not coming back. If that is why she's doing all this kind of thing, she will never come back again. On paper, now they say, "Es gracia na opa, any John Mama Becasa or the Bemau." Famau. Also, mammy who said Chachuchikata could pee shoe, so I say, Chachu, Kaya Kowi. Another Nakai.
I will say to the people of Ghana, I'm sorry. We are sorry for the poor work we have done. We're going to go and think about ourselves.
All right, the Chief Justice, former Chief Justice, should go and think about herself. She should rather tell Ghanaians that she is sorry. Godfrey Dame, so I have a problem with Godfrey Dame. Let's be serious. And then I say, he's also becoming a lawyer. He is leading it. Why? As a NPP, you find Godfrey Dame somewhere around it. Because sometimes Godfrey Dame koyama one kasa wa down for judge or Supreme Court or catch some of the baheno and assembly name. Pacha okay Japa uncle no. Godfrey Dame down for panel. And so or catch the Godfrey Dame say and 7 of the bahano and assembly name. Nyans assembly because other than a president say or not than a home. Oh, so no my president no do buy and Ghana for to a tier about Ghana for to about tier na buy no. I've been see the history of Ghana. Now what financial was uncle. I didn't send penny. I said by force to be persuaded the Chief Justice for Ghana or Mementias here. But let's assume say you now committee eternal yes you have done nothing wrong. A day be na Babaka. Are you going to turn back and say to committee your mojumayi and answer Babaka or man your mojumayi? And I say, my better be my NPP from Kwani Diwachino. Do you think that Ghanaians will have the faith and the confidence in you, say, as a Chief Justice, or the attendant ever back now? Sometimes, as people, we need to sit down and think about decisions. Be a yeah. We NPP need to Chief Justice. Nobody says man NPP, but as we want to Ghana and they share one son because that position you held is for Ghanaians, not NPP. Into one when the idea of my African Americans ayo because Chief Justice you could have been there very quietly, but my politics and length and share we need too much. It got to a time and after the decisions are out there, Ghanaians didn't even have faith and confidence in the courts again. Now, Makasi Chief Justice will feel well. I say you're digging down into some courts in Ghana. Let me be a titty honor. A chill monsoba. Because I have about 3 different courts in Ghana. Nipe titty honor. They are problem people for the society, and personally, I'll write petition against some of them to Attorney General. Says, "I call we say court has a fee. Will be a magistrate to court have a fee." And yes, or the fee rather can NDC party no. I could be a court of Akubu Techima. I told a lawyer today, said I will write a formal petition against him to the Chief Justice. Or a register of one of the courts. I will bring his name, I will bring his photo and everything, and then tell the Chief Justice, I call with Efie or in Pabonini or a Mambo 4. They are crooks in the court. We need to fish all of them out and then build a better society. Because minor John Mama Basso Baba corrected the wrongs in the society. No, we as Ghanaians can see in the team of John Mama no deliver. That is how we want it to do. And now I was surprised when I check a dollar rate, but the way a dollar rate now are dropping, I was shocked. So what a wow. And this is for boss Edmund Wayne. But we're not quite better. Need to be done some money and a woody. But I need to be. Now, on I have say, John Mama and Attorney General, my or more Kramayan, no, to no say no. No, we will fish them out and then tell the Attorney General, say, Mr. Attorney General, I call we say, Shaha, it's a money a woody. Can ye? So, one really year or the problem, baby. So, we need to let Attorney General and the others know that there are some people, some crooks in our society. We need to push them out. Eba Attorney General manai say adwuma no. Because yanye ne say NDC party no yanye ya adwen say yemu bi aba be say party sisi yo. Dabi. Why adwen say why adwen say party na ba say no. You have to find somewhere to go because we will help the president. Kwan bia ya TV ase ase ese e boa president bia ma president e chichire man na Ghana for akase ene ye pen bia no. We have to go about it. And you help the president to do that. Until when you're ready, no, stay cool, stay somewhere, and then get out. We are mambo for I ain't me no chichire mind. Because me say me tenase if you hawa John Mama mo a chichire Ghana de bedru baby e na yadru 4 months a penno 4 months a penno he will be a dollar rate na do dollar rate and then $1 11.95. Now say what tenase Mamudu Bawumia be too futuro di gu ani. I'm surprised say even the media no create Alhaji Dr. Mamudu Bawumia say be catch there. I read on the news my joy when I say for say asema Mamudu Bawumia kan no e right e dey am to mo dey mo Jimmy dey sebe. My joy for no mo Mamudu Bawumia kan asema you go back to cross check and know say e right and say wrong. Now 8 years no be vice president and as the head of Ghana's economic management team no dey no yeah my joy for me to report here. Sometimes the traditional media in our Ghana, they are becoming a problem for the society. Because we'll be to make the less than 5 months. Or 5 months into administration. Emma dollar and free 18 cities we do 11.9. Now you think say Mamudu Bawumia say na Bible report am idea. Say there's something absolutely wrong with what happening. But if you don't agree with me, you can also tell me. Because over the last 8 years, Mamudu Bawumia would emphasize over the last 16 years held lectures against how to stabilize Ghana's economy, how to stabilize Ghana's exchange rate and so forth. He assumed the presidency by rising to become the vice president as head of Ghana's economic management team. For $1 from 4 cities to 18 cities. Lectures and now according to opposition, when he says something, then we get some people in the country to start to report, say, Asama Mamudu Bawumia can earn okay. There's something wrong with you people. There's absolutely something wrong with you. So we need to correct the wrongs in the society. We need to help the president now, Ghana for to also help him to build the better society we all want. That is how we're gonna do. And before we are building the society that we all want. That is how we are moving it. So it's gradually. By the time John Mama be in 4 years, you Ghanaians will know say but there are differences in the society. Until Ghana and the best country NDC say twaso. Until that is how we do it. So we'll be a question BBC Pacha will wait me ascend them in the comment section now if they other than that and I think say and then the BC will have ABI and I'll come back. And Christopher Donko say God's judgment against them was carried out in 1740 BC when the Assyrians overthrew the 10 tribe kingdoms of Israel and led its inhabitants into captivity. The Bible quotation pa na da bayin. Financial Chuchikata. I was surprised that Chuchikata would in a court equal to Bible.
I conclude with prophetic words that were spoken centuries ago. For they sow the wind, and they shall reap the whirlwind. These are the words of the prophet Hosea, to be found in Hosea chapter 8, verse 7. He that has an ear, let him hear.
The Chuchikata say, wow, sono, him a wintini. So, mammy, he catch it or say, bye bye. Oh, my baby, what that? Osoro Mama is not coming back again. So wow, I don't know Osoro Mama and Pacho share can say, Madam. No union to Kweko now. As I did when you can lose it. Also, you are just fighting a losing battle and as a lost battle. As a Ukraine for a Russian to Kweko. What losing to Kweko also win jai. Also, there be a bow. Anyway, 1 hour with Munufia with a 4. I think 7 BC you had Yamea Doma. Maybe your channel. Bana a sacrifice communable.